those stories out. Okay. The other big thing from Ron Paul, I laid out the dollar going up because of this, the Rand Corporation calls, the fact that we've had different neocons in the news telling Obama to start a war to save his presidency. And I remember those articles. You can just pull it. You know, neocons tell Obama start war to save presidency. In fact, guys, you just Google that and print it for me. I know it's there. They talked about Korea, Iran, just whatever. Get a war going. That is newsworthy that Ron Paul concurred and said this could be the military-industrial complex trying to stir something up. Very newsworthy, very important to get that out for people. You got now, and we've pushed this false flag or stage provocation issue so far now, the Gulf of Tonkin's now known to be staged, that by exposing this, we may be able to stop them from carrying out more provocations. That doesn't mean that the lunatics in North Korea are good. That doesn't mean that they're not dangerous. That doesn't mean that they might have done this. But the point is they sent in ships, South Korea with the U.S., fired into this area that's seen as North Korean waters. There's David Broder. War with Iran will save economy. Obama presidency. And yeah, print me that article and also the link, because that's an article about the link. See, it says, so, David Broder. Put it back up. Thank you. So, David Broder has concerns. Print both. Thank you. There's a lot of other places. The point is they're looking at this. They're discussing it. Don't think the globalist and their puppet Obama won't stage something. Don't think they won't start a new war in Korea and try to ship our boys off over there to die, 56,000 again like they did back in the late 50s in the Korean War. We need to say no to this situation, and we need to say no to this now, as Ron Paul said earlier. Now, here are these reports from prisonplanet.com. They're also going up on Infowars.com. We need to get this out to everybody. Korean War crisis brought to you by Uncle Sam. U.S. military-industrial complex armed North Korea with nuclear weapons. Here's another one. North Korea attack part of Rand plan for total war. We're not talking about Rand Paul, boys and girls. Now we need the new headline up there, a blurb. Congressman Ron Paul says, Ron Paul hopes military-industrial complex not involved in Korea, or it's got to be a simple headline like Ron Paul concerned. Ron Paul has suspicions. Ron Paul, I need to hear the exact audio because I was interviewing him last hour, but I have to remember it exactly. Ron Paul concerned military-industrial complex hyping war with North Korea or staging provocations for war with North Korea to boost dollar. That's basically what he said. I mean, this is big. But North Korea attack part of Rand plan for total war. Key info. We'll be talking about that coming up very soon. Here is an October 31st article out of the Washington Post, The War Recovery. And it's the Washington Post saying that Barack Obama might need to stage a war to get their agenda going. That's the Washington Post. So I'm telling you, that's why Ron Paul responded and said, yeah, it's incredible that governments do talk about this. This is very real, what we're dealing with here. Ron Paul, another big newsmaker, said he believes the Federal Reserve will implode and fall apart in a depression before it ever gets audited. Wow. I mean, what a bombshell interview, ladies and gentlemen. So we need to get Paul Watson, Steve Watson. Aaron's on assignment in another state right now and doing an interview. We need to get our writers to get that together and decide who's going to write what and get on it, because this is big. Mike in Wisconsin, what's your take on the Korea situation?
Oh, it's a very scary time. You got to remember one thing, that a lot of these politicians, they have, and you can go on the internet, on YouTube, they have underground bases where the politicians take their families under during times of war, and the whole government installation goes underground, and we're stuck up here to deal with
that's COG. Policy. That's COG, continuity government, absolutely.
It is very scary, and I think what they want to do is depopulate the planet. I think they've been told from outside this planet, I'm not going to get into aliens or nothing, but they're told we need to depopulate, and they know depopulation stimulates the economy too. You have less mouths to feed. You have higher demands. You have more mouths to feed. You do have higher demands, but you can't handle it.
All right, I
So
appreciate your call, Mike. It is true that when they had the Black Plague that wiped out 20 to 40% of different areas of Europe, they're not sure because records weren't properly kept. They know with the fleas on the rats and the cats carrying the bubonic plague, the Black Plague, that whole areas were wiped out. And the Renaissance then came out of that. But that was only because much of the ruling elite was wiped out, if you actually study it. And so it knocked out some of the existing power structures and stagnation. Let's go. It's kind of like burning down a forest, then creates all that new nitrogen in the soil, so it comes back even more green. Let's go ahead and talk to Bob in Arizona. Bob, you're on the air.
God bless you, Alex. Thank you very much for having me on your show. I was in the Merchant Marines Naval Reserve, and this was something I wasn't even aware of. There's when you talk of the DMZ, most people think of the North and South Korean demilitarized zone. Well, we have a DMZ in North Korea and South Korea, and we've got over 50,000 troops there since 1957. And basically, what I want to say and tie everything together is the fact that you, no pun intended, but you've caught the globalists with their pants down. You know, with this TSA situation, you've got so many of your moles, and you've got so many people that are working for you to give you high-powered information on the globalists that you're all over them like bees on honey. And I truly believe that they need, because this TSA situation, like you've said, they took it one step too far by grabbing people's privates. They have to do something extreme right now.
Well, they have to teach us that there are saviors, but not just because of the great grassroots taking action and saying no on the TSA, and this being a catalyst for all of this anger to boil over. It's all of us together. It's also that they're openly taking over Ireland, getting ready to take over Portugal and Spain. They've taken over Greece. They're cutting people's benefits, raising their taxes. They need a political smokescreen globally to prop up the dollar so that all other currencies drop first, so the dollar is the last currency standing before they convert to the global SDR. So a war is good for them on their entire agenda. And that's why they're trying to start a war 2 years ago with Russia, trying to start one now with North Korea. Doesn't mean Russia's perfect. We certainly know North Korea's bad news. But the globalists are there trying to stage this now, and I hear you. Good to hear from you. I appreciate your call. John, who's up next here? Nate in California, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, how you doing, Alex?
Good, sir.
Yeah, so I think the North and South Korea thing is all China, just like the submarines over here. When Obama's overseas, he's flexing his muscle, they come over here and say, look what we can do. So I think it's pretty much all China, because like you said, they control China, or they control North Korea, right? China?
Yes.
Yeah, so I think they're probably just pushing the strings for them, but isn't it true that the Rothschilds and central banks are only a few countries that they don't have their fingers in, like Iran and like these countries?
Yes, any country under attack, like Libya, Iran, so-called rogue nations, whether they're good nations or bad nations, and most nations are run by crooks, so they're bad. The point is they're not the globalist. Any country the globalists are trying to take over or overthrow is a nation that didn't take a private central bank, that didn't follow the globalist eugenics program. China has done everything the New World Order wants. So China is the apple of their eye. China's been given the Panama Canal. They've been given favorable trade deals to deindustrialize the U.S., and yes, a lot of evidence, and even the military thinks that was a Chinese missile as a threat to the U.S. launched from a sub, basically a copy of a Polaris submarine launched from beneath the water. And it's the same situation now with the proxy wars between South and North Korea. You've got U.S. and Korean vessels right up in the edge of the North Korean waters, firing artillery right into their waters. And North Korea wouldn't have the bravado or the hubris to start blasting South Korean military bases and, I mean, really lighten them up if China wasn't backing them just like they did back in the Korean War.
Right. Yeah, so to me it just seems, maybe with the TSA and China and everything is just smoke screens. Just get everybody worried about all of this, and while they're...
Oh, yeah, China, I mean, listen, this stuff is so agreed upon at certain levels. They may have already made a deal, and then China ordered North Korea, basically to respond. And I mean, at that level, our governments are like tied at the hip via the corporate connections, and this could be completely staged as a way to prop the dollar up. And you heard Ron Paul last hour say that the military-industrial complex may be in there saber rattling and trying to get a response from the North Koreans. But when you read the Rand Corporation reports and others, they want total war. They want World War III. And that's what Joel Skousen talked about yesterday, so it's very dangerous. We'll come back. Great points. Nate, talk to Jeff, David, Jason, Nick, and many others. Then we've got Wayne Madsen popping in to give us his take on this. I'm tempted to get Joel Skousen to pop in tomorrow. He was already on yesterday, but this is exactly what we was talking about yesterday.
Normal blood pressure, naturally. How would that make you feel?
I'm Don from New Mexico. January of 2000, I had a heart attack. Then my real health began going downhill, and I had high blood pressure, high blood sugar, poor vision, and I really wasn't sleeping well. I was a mess, pretty much.
Don reports dramatic improvements with Heart and Body Extract.
I started taking Heart and Body Extract, and from within a few days, I started sleeping a lot better. My blood pressure normalized, my blood sugar normalized, and my sleep really did improve.
Experience these benefits and more when your body gets what it needs with the assistance of Heart and Body Extract. Order at hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305. That's hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305.
And folks, I did not expect this at all. By the 7th, 8th, and 9th day, I saw dramatic improvements from taking Heart and Body Extract.
Details at hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305 for Heart and Body Extract.
You may be arrested and or subject to other police action.
Tyranny is here. The grim future foretold in 1984 has become reality.
It really says that the state is God.
The United States is now recognized globally as one of the most oppressive police states on earth. This film conclusively proves the existence of a secret network of FEMA camps, now being expanded nationwide. This documentary exposes how the continuity of government program has established an all-powerful shadow state. Police State 4 chronicles the sickening depths to which our republic has fallen. Prepare to enter the secretive world of emergency dictatorship, body scanners, sound cameras, citizen spies, stage terror, and cameras on every street corner. It's only the beginning of the New World Order's hellish plan. The police state isn't coming. It's here. Secure your copy today at Infowars.com or see it online in the highest quality at PrisonPlanet.tv.
Is it really possible to get out of debt without payment plans or attorneys? 18 years ago, we developed a program that has made thousands debt-free in just 90 days. It's called Zero Debt in 90 Days, and it works for all credit card debt, medical bills, even collection lawsuits.
When I first joined, I was being sued. So I used the program methods, and after filing one piece of paper, the collection lawsuit was dismissed.
With Zero Debt in 90 days, your success is guaranteed in writing. There is no other program of its kind. Don't be alone when creditors gang up on you. Let our team of experts provide the resources to fight back and stop creditors in only 90 days, guaranteed. Prevent wage garnishments, bank levies, and stop collection calls with our proven program. Call Zero Debt in 90 days now, 800-477-9256, and ask for free information from an expert who also completed our program. 800-477-9256.